drum is actually a musical instrument, so tonight I'd like to play a selection from the classics. I'm sure you're all familiar with such famous names in music as Beethoven, Brahms, Schumann, Truman, and there are many other finished musicians. I've chosen a selection tonight by the spirited composer Shenley. Now, this, of course, is Shenley's Fifth Symphony, and it was originally written for the snare drum and the E-flat syringe. Now, you've probably heard of a selection that needs no introduction. Well, this one really needs one. Now, Shenley's Fifth Symphony was first discovered by former French underground worker Cecil Poole. It was first introduced in this country, as a matter of fact, by a conductor working for CBS, the Chicago bus station. Now, I'll play this number backwards tonight for the benefit of any backward listeners in the audience. I'll also play it just as I recorded it last week for Victor, my younger brother. Now, the first movement begins with a very interesting rhythm, but exceedingly difficult, because it was written for the trombone. However, I shall attempt to play it at twice the speed of sound. The second movement takes us to Scotland Yard. Now, down in the yard, we find a heated gun duel between two desperados, Noel the Coward and Louis the Weasel. Here's what happened. Thank you, music lovers. Seriously though, and I would like to get serious for a couple of seconds if I may. Having been serious, you know, a lot of people, they ask, where did this drum really come from? Last year I hired an archaeologist, and after spending 8 months among the pyramids of Egypt, he discovered that this drum actually came from a music store in Chicago, which is quite a discovery. However, the drum does date back to 4000 BP, before Petrillo. Now, in that year, the first message ever sent among human beings was sent by a young African warrior, Two Tom Tony. Two Tom Tony sat on a hill, and with his heart throbbing with emotion, he sent this message to his fiancée 3 miles away. Translated freely into English, the message said to her, should your tribe ever be captured by our common enemies and you be burned at the stake, it couldn't happen to a nicer girl. Well, she returned the message to him, saying, if you were the only guy in the world and I were the only girl, okay. Well, this finishes Shenley's Fifth Symphony. It was really nothing. I can tell by your applause.